Hello again, everyone. Today I thought I'd have another little play with a couple of Gummiapan dies that I haven't used before. We've got a couple of jars and some little, they look to me like bluebells, but they're little tiny flowers. So I thought we'd make a card just with a little bunch of jar of flowers in a corner, sitting on a little bit of something for grounding. And the thing I thought I'd use for grounding this time is a little mixed media type stamp. It actually came from Stamplorations. This was the set. This is the one that I use most of all, my most favourite grounding stamp. But you can kind of use anything, really. I did have a look on Sherry's website, Stamplorations, and this one is actually sold out. She had to cut down or cut back her business considerably while she was going through her cancer treatment. And although she's back working again, I think that some of the things that heretofore were available are not any longer. So it's just an example. There are lots of companies that do lots of stamps that you could just kind of look at, maybe with new eyes, and see what you can do. This one is actually a little piece of text, which is not exactly what you'd think of as a grounding stamp, but we'll have to wait and see if it actually works. So anyway, here we go. For the jar, I thought I would use some vellum, because it's not so sort of stark as acetate, but you can obviously still see through it a little. And I've got an old piece of vellum here that I had been using as a protection sheet in my Sesic switch, because I find that the top plate gets readily marked with the backside of the dies facing down to cut, but the backside of the dies etches into the top plate. So I started using, this is a fairly hefty sheet of vellum, some of this as a protection layer, but I have since discovered that a sheet of mylar works even better. So this has been relegated, it's all chopped up, but there's plenty of bits of vellum here that I can use to cut out my jar. And I think I'll do two layers, so I'll cut out two. So let's just get a scrap off it. This is Anne-Marie. I'm not sure if it's called vellum, whether she calls it parchment paper or what, but it's from Anne-Marie. It's a really nice, strong vellum. I like it. Okay, so let's have a couple of jars. There's one. I don't know if you can see it. It's lovely. Just such wonderful dies. I absolutely love them. One of these days,
I didn't get that.
Oh,
could you try again?
Go away! For goodness, you haven't been to visit me for ages, and here you are.
Okay.
Goodness me! Oh dear, Mr. Silly. Right, there's my two jars. Put my die up. Let's put it on my little handy little box. Right, now I'll stick these two together. It's hard for you to see. They are gorgeous, just lovely. I wonder if two together will make them a little bit more visible. I'll just put a swipe of glue completely over this, because as you know, when you join vellum to anything, you can often see whatever adhesive it is that you use. So if you putting it all over, it shouldn't be apparent. Right, let's get these lined up. There we go. And this jar, of course, has got a little cut near the top so that you can insert whatever plants, flowers, or whatever that you want to put in. I will show here. There, do you see? So you can put your stems into here. And, do you know, I haven't got that absolutely level. Oh, crumbs. This glue, this Nouveau glue, doesn't seem to have as much slidability as a zig, but it's nice and wide, which is why I used it. Let's just try and get it absolutely on top. Should wear my glasses, really. Right. Are we nearly there? Almost. I think someone has come up with the solution to why some of my videos look a bit fuzzy. And I'm sure, when I think about it, I'm sure that they are absolutely right. The suggestion is that I have published before YouTube have finally finished sorting out exactly their checks and goodness knows what. And it has been published in the lower resolution that YouTube use whilst they're doing all their checks and stuff. So I think that may be the problem. So if I leave it for a little while after YouTube say it's ready, before I publish, I'm just going to have fingers crossed that it will be okay. Time will tell. Right, let's have a look at this one. What does it say they are? Les Convaldiers. Isn't that interesting? Don't know what that is. Small ones, whatever they are. I'll look that up. I can put my camera over that, my phone, and with Google Translate, I'm sure it'll tell me exactly what they are. Let's try and get this sticky off. At least with Gummiapan's sticky stuff, you can get it off in one piece and it doesn't leave a residue. Whereas some, I find myself having to clean off the sticky residue with, you know, solvent of some description. Right, there's my couple of flowers. Now, when I make my cards, I start with a sheet of A4. So if you imagine this is my sheet of A4, cut it down the middle. One part is for the card itself, a quarter is for the panel, and I've got a quarter left over for cutting any die cuts that I may want to use. So let's start cutting some of these flowers. I'm going to need more than just a couple to put in the jar because they're going to look a bit lonely unless they have a few friends. Whoops-a-daisy, a few friends with them. There we go. Let's get these couple out. They're so pretty. Look at them. Aren't they just lovely? Oh, crumbs. They're beautiful. Let's get this one out. There we go. Let's cut another couple. I think we'll need at least half a dozen, I would think, to make a kind of a bunch, but we'll see how we go. Oops. Let me turn this over. I'm still flattening this panel. I used it too long as a top panel and it got bowed. The lower one normally in my platinum stays absolutely flat, but this one I've been using as a top panel, a top plate rather, and it got bowed. There are so many different ways of attempting to flatten them, some more successful than others, I hasten to add. Let's do another two at least, and then we'll colour a few and see how we go. I thought today for these I might do some watercolour pencils. We'll see. If they don't look vital enough, I can always use a marker, an alcohol marker. Right, let's have a look at our blossoms. Right, there we are. Don't know whether it's easier to do it on there or on there. If I did it on here, you could be able to see better, wouldn't you? I was lucky enough to be able to buy this box of watercolour pencils. There are 120. I managed to buy them second hand from a friend at a ridiculously low price. That's all she wanted for them. But as you can see, second hand, I mean, I've had them for years, but hardly used. Hardly. Look at them. Isn't that fabulous? Can you see all those? Wonderful. So, I need a blue. I fancy blue. Here are my blues. Let's have a look. I don't know. Let's have that darker one. Maybe a couple of shades and some green for the stems. Let's have that one, and let's have this one. I like those. That's sort of a nice sprucey type colour, isn't it? Oh, I'm sticking to the magnets. Right, let's put those away for a moment. And I think what we'll actually do is to pop these. Let me just put a piece of tape across the back first. I'll pop them back in to do the colouring. It's always an easy way, isn't it? Okay. Let's put these back into the piece of card they were cut from. There we go. Oh, that's a different one. Where did I get it from? Have I stuck that in backwards? That one fits there. I've got it on upside down. Oh, silly woman. What a silly woman. Should be wearing my glasses, shouldn't I? Oh dear me. Right. That had me at a loss for a moment or two. I managed to buy myself some windproof, waterproof, cosy trousers to go to Iceland yesterday. I was really pleased with them. Right, there we are. Now I don't have to worry about moving them. Now I want to put a dark spot just in this bit of each of the blooms. I've not done this before, so I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll see. We will see. There's so much detail in Gummiapan dyes. I absolutely love them. Just put this dark spot. This is just regular paper. Obviously, you saw it came from the sheet of A4, so it's not watercolour paper. But for something this tiny, you know, it isn't as if you need a great wash to make it work. So, just going to try this. There we go. Now I'm going to put some of the other blue. Putting them back in with a little anchor does really help to just let you see what you're colouring and keep them still while you're doing it. As you can see, it's nothing special. I'm just getting a bit of colour onto there, and we'll move it around with our brush. Now, I have got a small paintbrush here. I do have some water, but I also have a water brush, and a water brush I think is really quite handy. Just make sure there's some water coming out. And the first thing I do is just sort of get the water, the colour moving, wet it so that it's, you know, in a state to be moved around a bit. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough colour, actually. We'll see. We'll see. I'll reserve judgment. It might be enough, I don't know. We'll see. I'll just put some green on in a moment onto the stems. Might have to put a bit of marker colour on there as well, just to give it a bit more vibrance. I don't know. We'll see. Just have to wait. Look a bit sort of pale and interesting to me, but the depth of colour of that first dot on the ones that it is more evident was better. Let me just try and put a bit on this one. Add a bit more colour. That's a bit better. Okay. A bit more. Because once it's damp, the paint seems to get activated straight away. I'm putting all the darker sides on the side that's going to be on the left, so they look as if they're in the same light, hopefully. Okay. Oh, it's better. A bit more colour. Often with these things, it's just the impression of what you want to get, not doing it sort of absolutely perfectly. Right. Okay. Right, let's do a bit of green. Some of the lighter at the bits near the blossoms, and we'll put some darker stuff down there. Actually, this colour might do. I don't know. We'll see. Can you imagine trying to hold these and colour them at the same time? It'd be dreadful. And you can't really colour your card first and cut it out afterwards, because you don't know where the colour's going to be. Let's put a little bit of the darker in other places. Okay. Let's just add a bit of water to this. Oh, I don't like that colour much. Was that the dark one? I should have tried it out first. Maybe able to get rid of it. Keep sticking to this piece of plastic or whatever it is. Okay, let's just have a look at some of these and see what they look like. Quite sweet. May need some more, actually. We'll see. See how we go. think that is going to be enough, actually. There's not a lot of space, is there? Let's get this one out. Be interesting to do one with alcohol markers as well, and just see what the different effect is. I think that's going to be fine. Okay, what I am going to do before I do anything else with those is just to put a little bit of glimmer on them. Where's my pen? Just thought of this. Here it is. This is Nouveau Glimmer Gloss, and it's very similar to Wink of Stella. Is that coming out all right? Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to go over the whole thing with this Glimmer Gloss. And it makes quite a difference. Makes the flowers look a lot more vibrant. Stops them looking so dull. Just a little twinkle. Love it. And this is water-based as well, of course, so this would also help spread some of the colour if it hasn't already been spread by the paintbrush, the water brush. Right. There we go. There we go. It's lovely. Really like. Oh, this makes such a difference. Love it. Look. Oh my, that is nice. Excellent. Though I say it, what shouldn't? Let's just wipe the mat. Okay. Now, for this little bit for the grounding, I stamped it 3 times here because I wanted to see which colour I thought would look best. This one is Lost Shadow, which is this one here. And I didn't think that was going to be working, but actually looking at the jar next to it, I actually quite like that. Let's look at this one. This one is Hickory Smoke, and I think that one is too much. So we'll put that away. This one is Pumice Stone. But of all of them, didn't think I was going to, but I like the Lost Shadow best. So that's what I'm going to stamp it in. There is my... I'm just wondering how I'm going to stick this, and I think I've just had an idea. Right, Lost Shadow, that's what I'm doing. Let's get your mind on your job, Christine. Right, here's my stamp. Never know whether it's the best thing to put stamp to ink or ink to stamp, and I think sometimes it doesn't matter. Now, which way up does that go? That little line goes to the right. Now I have a vision of it in the bottom right hand corner, and I like to have the same-ish amount of gap between the side and the bottom. Call me crazy, but there you go. I think that's going to do there. Right. Lost Shadow. It is just a hint, isn't it? Just a hint, which is why, because it's not an actual grounding stamp, I don't think it's going to make a lot of difference. Now, what I have a fancy for doing is adding a little bit of double-sided tape down that side and down this side, and sticking those down closer together than when it's not absolutely flat. So rather than trying to put something on the front, or could I do that? Not sure. Let's just see. I'm going to put some adhesive down the middle so I can stick the flowers in and they can grab the adhesive. Okay. Right, so that's got some sticky on there. Now I'm going to need my pokey tool to make sure I can get these stems in. I've got a gap there. Okay, let's start putting in some of these. Put that one right down there. Okay. Some face one way, some face the other. So I'll have one of these other ones going the other way over there, just as a starting point. Okay. Put in some of the others. This is fun, actually, just messing about like this. Okay. I want one coming a bit further over this side. That was one of the first ones, wasn't it? Okay. You could see this little bit of something. It's one of the bits out of the die cuts that's just stuck to the back here. Let's get it out. There we go. Now, I think let's just see. Let's try. I'm going to put glue all over this, all over the sides. Now I've got to tuck some of this adhesive that's sticking out of the side. Just tuck it inside the die cut so it won't show. And I just don't know if, I think a little bit of, just wondering about putting a glue dot on the back of there, just to hold it up. Let's just see. I don't think a glue dot is going to show behind the stems. Let's just see. There's a half a one there. I don't want the half a one. It's stuck to me. I couldn't get rid of it. Right. No, you can't see that. That's good. Now that's going to anchor all those blooms together. And I fancy this going on this line. Do you know, I'm going to put some of the twinkly stuff on the jar as well. It's just as makes it look shinier. There we go. There we go. Now, I may put the odd dab of glue from this very fine point nozzle glue. This is Nouveau again, adhesive, behind some of those flowers to hold them, but they should be fine because they're totally anchored in here with that glue dot. I think it's pretty, isn't it? I think I will put this onto foam tape. Let's just do this. Those are pretty, aren't they? That's some of the adhesive, you know, just still showing to push it behind. There we go. There we go. Right. Put this onto here. And in fact, my card base looks a little wide, so I'm going to take a sliver off this side, put that in my trimmer and just take a sliver off. That's pretty, isn't it? Oh, Gummiapan dies are just the best. So, another day, another card, and let's hope this time the video's not blurry. And as ever, thank you so much for watching.